What up YouTube, it's your boy Anime Specialist. So Fire Force is back after a 1 week break. Obviously my condolences to all the families that lost their loved one in the Kyoto animation studio in Japan. The reason why the Fire Force anime was on break is because the animation studio that does the anime, there was a fire there and someone put gasoline and just put a fire there and a lot of people died. So my condolences to all the families. Hopefully the guy that did this gets what he deserves. So yeah man, like I said, my condolences to all the families. But this week's episode was really good, man. It was one of my favorite episodes of the series so far. It was the best episode of the series so far in my opinion, even though it's just only the third episode of the series. It was really good, man. And it started with this guy right there. It looks like he's gonna be one of the villain of the story. I'm not saying he's gonna be the big bad, but he's gonna be one of them, you know, because something that was weird about him is that he was at the Fire Soldier games, which is odd. Maybe he's part of the Fire Soldiers and he's one of the villains, so that's gonna be interesting to see, because it seems like the Fire Force is infiltrated with villains, so we'll have to see what's gonna happen with that. So don't worry, we're gonna talk about him more a little bit later in the review. But like I said, it was the Fire Soldier games for the recruits, for Shinra, for Arthur, for another character that we were introduced in this week's episode that is pretty cool. But that was the establishment where they did the games and it looked pretty cool, man. I actually thought that we were gonna see, you know, the Fire Soldier game, but obviously something else happened. We were introduced to two new characters. There's this one, he looks badass, man. We only know right now that he's the captain of the first company. I don't think that we know his name, but he's the guy that saved Shinra when his mom and his little brother, quote unquote, died. So it was pretty cool to see him. We saw him a little bit in action at the end of the episode, but he looks awesome, man. I can't wait to see him again. Shinra obviously had questions for him, but he didn't really want to talk with Shinra. He didn't really want to answer the question, and it seems like he had the answers, you know. So we'll talk about this later in the review, because there's some things that was revealed at the end of the episode. But yeah man, he's an awesome character. I can't wait to see him more in the series because I like his design and it looks like he's gonna be really strong. The second character that was introduced to us in this week's episode was named Tamaki Kotatsu. She looks awesome. She's really fan servicey, you know. There was a lot of fan service seen in this episode with her, especially with her and Shinra, which was really funny. There was also a scene with Arthur a little bit later in the episode. But yeah man, I like her a lot right now. She's really funny. I really like her design, obviously. And she's a third generation pyrokinetic, you know. So now we know three pyrokinetic third generation users. There's Shinra, there's Arthur, and now there's Tamaki. So that's interesting. And her flames are red, you know. I think her power is called Nikomata, which is kind of a cat, kind of spirit, I think, in Japan. So it looks awesome. She moves like a cat when she uses it. Obviously she looks a little bit like it with her flames. So I can't wait to see more of her in the series because she looks awesome. The thing that I like the most about the third generation pyrokinetic users is that they all have different powers. We can see that Shinra uses his feet to use his fire. In this week's episode, we see Tamaki Kotatsu use Nikomata power to look like a cat, and she has a red flame, so that was awesome. And then 2 weeks ago, Arthur uses a plasma blade. So they all have different powers and I like it a lot. But anyway, they were all there for the Fire Soldier game, and the goal of the game was to get to the top of the building to save a fake infernal, but all that was interrupted by that guy. I think he said that his name is Joker, which is really appropriate because of his smile and how he looks. So his name, I guess, is the Joker, and he's pretty strong, man. We saw him fight Shinra for a while, and the reason why it was interrupted by him is because there was some fire soldiers that was taken down by him when Shinra arrived in this place, you know. We saw him in the last episode. We didn't really know what he was doing, but I guess that he was the one that turned the father into an inferno, and that he was the one that created the fire in the house. So in this week's episode, it seems like maybe it was the truth sorry, because he had something. He had ashes that actually turned into fire explosion, which was crazy. So that, I guess, is one of his techniques. Maybe that is the reason why people turn into inferno or something like that. I don't really know, but it's something pretty weird, you know, ashes that can turn into fire explosion and everything. And yeah, man, that was part of his technique, I guess. He had some of them. He had multiple, not cases of them, but multiple ashes with him. So yeah, man, like I said, the fight was amazing. The animation and art was great. I liked the soundtrack while they were fighting, so everything about that was great. But the thing that was crazy about all that, about that scene, about what was happening between Shinra and the Joker, was the reveal that we got a little bit later during the fight, I'd say. So for some reason, this Joker character knows everything that happened to Shinra as a child, everything that happened to his family, how his mom and his little brother died in a fire. And the reason why he revealed this reveal was because of Shinra's smile, which is not really intended to, you know. He had this smile because, you know, he's nervous and everything. So basically his smile saved him from death. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, man, the reveal that the Joker said to Shinra was that his little brother was still alive. So what, Shinra is now maybe 15, 16 years old, and his little brother is alive. So Shinra obviously didn't know that. We didn't know that. We don't know what the hell happened with his brother. So that was a big reveal, man. I'm wondering what the hell is happening, and we're gonna talk about it really soon. But it's crazy, man. I don't know if I believe Joker, but it seems like he knows a lot more than we know, you know. So it's gonna be interesting to see this story develop about Shinra, about his family. And I don't know, man. I don't know if I believe him. I don't know how the hell his little brother would have survived, but like I said in the first or second episode, I think that maybe someone is creating these instantaneous combustion, creating these infernos, and maybe that person took his little brother, you know. So that's really interesting, really interesting. At the end of the fight, we saw Arthur and Tamaki arrive. They were kind of fighting because they thought that it was part of the game, but after that the Joker used his ashes all over the place to create a big explosion, and Shinra had to save both Arthur, Tamaki, and both the you know, other fire soldiers that were knocked out, you know, from the explosion, which was really cool, man. Shinra's ability, the animation while they were doing that was amazing. We saw the captain of the first company help a little bit by saving his protege, but yeah, he had some fire in his right eye, which means he's a pyrokinetic, and I think maybe he's a third generation, maybe a second generation. I don't know how this works, but it would be crazy if he's a fourth generation, you know, because he looks really strong. But yeah, man, it was a great episode, and there's still other things to talk about, because the things that was revealed at the end of the episode was crazy, man. It was a lot of plot that was revealed, so let's get it. Because of the conversation with the Joker, Shinra started not really trusting the system in general, so he had a talk with Captain Obu, obviously the captain of the 8th company, and he revealed a lot of interesting things, The first thing that he revealed is that the fire force, the fire soldiers, are composed of separate entities. He said that they're composed of the Holy Soul Temple. Obviously, I think that is the religious part of the fire force. Then there's the Tokyo Armed Forces. So I guess this is kind of the police force and everything like that. And then there's the Fire Defense Agency, which is, most of the fire force, I guess. And then there's Ajima Industries, which is the industry that is making all the equipment and everything, So he said that the companies that has the most influence in the fire force is the Holy Soul Temple, the Tokyo Armed Forces, and there's also the Ajima Industries because of all the equipment that they have. So that was really, really interesting. And the reason why he said all of that is because they all have their own goals, and they're not giving the information to other companies. The Holy Soul Temple is keeping their information with themselves because they kind of have not a rivalry, but they're different entities, so they're keeping their information to themselves. Same thing for the Tokyo Armed Forces, and the same thing for the Fire Defense Agency and the Ajima Industries. In the first or second episode, Captain Obu said that the Fire Force goal was to discover what the hell was creating the infernals and these instantaneous combustion. That was one of the goals. Obviously, they want to save lives and everything, but that was one of their goals, But the thing that Captain Obu said in this week's episode is that he believes that people in the fire force knows what is creating the infernals and that they're keeping that inside. So there's obviously some corruption in the system, and Captain Obu's goal is to discover these information and to save basically the world of all these infernals and instantaneous combustion. So there was a lot of world building in this week's episode, man. It was amazing, especially the end for me because of all the information. Obviously the fight between Joker and Shinra was amazing, and the information that his little brother was still alive, which we don't know if it's true, but it was an amazing episode from top to bottom, just the information of the fire force being separated in entities with the Holy Soul Temple, which probably is where Iris is from, where she got her training, and then the Tokyo Armed Forces, the Fire Defense Agency, Ajima Industries. Everything about this episode, it was amazing, man. So let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below, and let me know what you think is gonna happen next. I hope that the next episode is going to be as awesome or better, because this is going to be hard to pass, because this week's episode was impressive. It was great. But I do Fire Force reviews every Friday, so subscribe for that. But I also do other anime related things like Black Clover reviews every Tuesday, and then like I said, on Fridays I usually do Dr. Stone reviews, but I'm not doing it one today. I do Fire Force reviews like I said on Friday, and then I do Kimetsu no Yaiba Demon Slayer reviews on Saturday. Also there is the One Piece anime reviews on Saturday. So there's a lot going on my channel right now. The Wano arc in One Piece just started. We're 3 episodes in right now, and it's great. The animation and art is amazing. There's a new director for the series, so it looks great. I like the story so far of the land of Wano, so I can't wait for the next episode tomorrow. But yeah, man, thank you for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Thank you for the 54 subscribers on my channel, it means a lot to me. But yeah, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at anime specialist. I tweet a little bit more now, so go follow me on there. But yeah, man, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video, bruh. Anime specialist out. Peace.